Close to the line. Brian goes over, does. Here's Jackson Hastings running to the line. Patano, lovely little ball. Ooh, jumping the gun there, the Warriors. And now they go right, they go left through Arthur Hastings. Out the back, here comes Annan and Taj Annan. Boyd now advances. It's going to be close infield, and is he over? Yes, he is. Danger zone. Devoid of any ideas at the moment. Martin offloads. Going through, it's going to be close. He's got 10 on his back, but he's very versatile here. Boyd steps off his right. Offloads here. A good run now. Healey again. He's threat ball game. Gets the ball away. This is the lead. And the Warriors lead. And yes, it is. Had a busy second stint, Lussick. Comes back now. Oh, Boyd juggles it. They were going for the field goal. Instead, Martin finds a bit of a half gap. Palms off one. Palms off two. Is he going to get there? Back in the pocket. Oh, it opens up. That is pulled.
The Newcastle Knights in this one, they had the Warriors by the throat at 18-0 at halftime, but they just let a couple of things slip. The sin bin of Francis Mandalela midway through the second half for a late shot was one that really did hurt them in this one, so it will be one to see how we unfold here. But for the moment, let's take a look now at our stats deep dive. And our focus this week starts at the top with Tamale Martin. He had 190 running metres, a line breaker, 2 line break and try assists, 5 tackle breaks, defended well on his edge. But the question mark is, where does he fit at the NRL level? The halves are going good in first grade. Does he get a move elsewhere, or does he move to Super League? Those are some question marks that are answered at the moment. Next up, we've got Sam Healey. What more do I need to say about Sam Healey at this point? Over 120 metres from Healey, easily exposing the markers. He picked up a well-earned try at the end of the game. 3 line breaks, a try assist, 8 tackle breaks. What more can this bloke do at the moment? Let me tell you, absolutely insane from Healey, and he should get a first grade debut at this point. I reckon he and Jaden Beryl, who we'll touch on a little bit later, are the best 2 hookers not playing regular first grade at the moment. What he's doing week in, week out, he'd get a first grade gig anywhere else, let me tell you. Then we finish up with Kalis Falalofa. He had 14 runs to 127 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, made 37 tackles. He did miss Frevo. He's another of these young forwards on the production line looking on their way up. Next up, we've got Jackson Hastings over at Newcastle. A lot has been said about Jacko this year. He controlled the Knights well and engaged the line a lot, defended and kicked well, something we have noted has been missing from the first grade side this year. However, he was at times ill-disciplined, conceded 3 penalties, was offside on another occasion, so it's a really big concern there. But other than that, Hastings controlled the game really well. Next up, we got Jermaine McEwen. He had 80 minutes on the edge. He was a little underwhelming coming down from first grade, but was well contained. 13 runs, 68 metres, did have 2 offloads, made 35 tackles, which is all good, but he did miss 9 out there. The Knights definitely targeted him in this one. But overall, McEwen is a better player than what we saw in this game, and I'm sure in the coming weeks we will see those numbers start to uptick to where he was able to make his first grade debut. Then we finish up with Paul Bryan. He had a try for great charge over, 6 tackle breaks, a line break, got through a mountain of defensive work, 28 tackles, only missing 1. A fair display from Paul Bryan, who is knocking down the door of a first grade debut. 18th man a couple of weeks ago, as we've already mentioned. Well, next up, we're taking a trip to Collegiate Sporting Complex, where the St George Illawarra Dragons are taking on a Manly side who are looking to be rejuvenated after a couple of lean weeks.
Out it comes on the outside, Sagrantis. Numbers on the outside, and then goes Rumble. Again, can they get this time? Short ball. Tried to get the double round, the ball's come free. Ball's been stripped away, like King Tongi has got it out here. This is going to be one of the most bizarre tries you'll ever see. Beautiful shifts that's coming on. Now comes across to the left. Glover looking for King Tonga. Numbers on the outside. And out it comes to Lawson again. Final. Another short ball to Faitala Mariner. And he might have got this one down. Arm on that one. That Lodge. King Tonga rolls the kick through. Chase is good. On the blind side. King Tonga full of running here. Through he goes. Back inside to Cody Ramsey. And Ramsey's going to scoot away out of the post. 2 points to 0. Could it be more in a few moments? King Tonga. Out it comes. Tap on. And away it comes on the outside. We got ourselves a... Across it comes to Arthur. Jacob Arthur. Through the dummy.
Point victory, and aren't these Dragons New South Wales Cup team proving to be a little bit of a smoky out there at the moment? Nathan Lawson, the Rugby Sevens convert, picking up a hat-trick, while for Manly, we saw a return of one forward, but there was certainly a question marks about a couple of them out there. Let's take a look at the stats deep dive. Starting with Nathan Lawson, he picked up a hat-trick in slippery conditions. He had 11 runs for 156 metres, 2 line breaks, 3 tackle breaks, easily his most complete match in the knock-on effect New South Wales Cup to date. Next up, we got Licky King Toiga. He had over 120 running metres, a line break, 2 line break assists, 3 try assists, 3 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. With all the talk around Lockie Ilias' NRL future, he might get a crack sooner rather than later in the 6 with Flanagan at 7. Jonah Glover's there as well. We've highlighted him several times this season, but that's an option there for the St George Illawarra Dragons to consider. Another option to consider, Lockout Pacific Tonga. He had 45 minutes, 9 runs, 108 metres, 60 post-contact metres, 4 tackle breaks, not 4 line breaks, 2 offloads, and defended soundly in the middle. It's probably his most complete New South Wales Cup game today. A massive shout out to Dragons Media 98, who's a regular watcher of our program. He said he was absolutely outstanding in this one. And of course, if you want to contribute with the program, let us know how players go. Flip us a message. We'll give you a shout out on the program every single week. We're going to kick off with Matt Lodge here for Manly. Now, it was similar to Francis Molo a few weeks ago. A slow return, got through about 40 minutes. 9 runs, 82 metres. It's okay. Defended well, making 28 tackles. Again, not bad. But it was the Matt Lodge we've known for a couple of times. Conceding a few penalties on the trot, making some silly plays, trying to do a little bit too much with his team down. We've seen that on occasions from Lodge, so that's something you need to work out of his game if he wants a first-grade record. Next up, we've got Antonio Taufa. Now, he's a young outside back prospect stepping into Aaron Shop's shoes. He was in Sydney Shield last year. Of course, making that transition to open age footy. He's moved up in the flag and into cup. This was easily his best game so far. 13 runs, 116 metres, a line break, a team high of 6 tackle breaks, defending well on his edge when needed. These are some of the good stories we like to bring you on the lower grade wrap every week. And then we finish off with Jake Arthur. He was one of the more dangerous Manly players along with Taufa. Picked up a try, a line break, kicked the ball around the park well, trying to turn that game around for the Manly side. Well, next up, we're taking you out to Redfern Oval, where South Sydney look to put behind their losing streak of late, up against a Parramatta side that's starting to find some form.
Shows him, plays out Hawkins, bit of shape here at the back. Joash Papali'i gets the ball out there to centre. Jordan Samrani. The veteran himself, Lenny Skelton, French out the back to Schuster. Schuster goes out the back again. Catch and pass. Maxi Lehman goes around and scores in the corner. Grew up at Redfern area. Heart of South Sydney territory as Madison goes out about Volkman. Short pass on to Dan Kier. That South Sydney Rabbitohs as the Eels look to work it up there. The early kick from Hawkins as well. This is catching on the old early kick. Hawkins gets an offload from Cartwright. He's into the backfield. He's trying to set up a 2-on-1. Dummies, props gets it out to Jordan Samrani. He goes over. Looks like a strongly built ladder. So they go to the short side. Volkman out there. On the left-hand side, it's a 2-on-1. Volkman's going to bring this one around under the post. He throws a dummy, and that was all a little bit too easy there for the Parramatta Reels. I like to dominate the middle and then shift to the edges as Volkman plays out the back to Papali'i. He gets an offload out the back there to Nanza. 2-on-1. He puts Alamadine around. That's another try to the Eels. Gets the offload away. Schmidt to Cartwright. He's going to kick it cross field to Samrani. Lathy. Kujin comes in to help out there. Gray, the Schuster, crossfield kick. He's got this thing on a string. Goes down. What a try. Good resilience there, keeping his feet underneath him. It's a nice little chip there from Ward. It's up there for a long time. The Bunnies come down with it. Put him on the deck. Luke gets it out to short ball there. Dean Hawkins to Cartwright. Back to Hawkins. Under the sticks. Great ball movement there. Luke, dummies right, goes left to Volkman. Volkman out the back to Papali'i. Dummies, goes himself, brings it around under the post. Slowish play the ball. He get up again. Plaff out to Schuster, shapes to pass, kicks. And it is a beautiful try there on his front. Out in front of Volkman. He's got a few options. Dummies, get through the line. He's going to get it out. It's a big number 15.
Good form at the moment. They put up 50 points on the South Sydney Rabbitohs to run away 30-point winners in this one. An absolutely emphatic display out of Redfern Oval. But we're going to start with South Sydney and look at some of their key players. And we're going to kick off with Josh Schuster, who managed to get through 80 minutes. So first and foremost, that is the big key if you're a South Sydney Rabbitohs fan. You had some good moments. He had 2 try assists. Absolutely great sign from Shuey. That chip over the top, superb. Forced a couple of dropouts. But I think with Josh, he just needs to get in the game a bit more. 34 metres for a 5'8", I don't think represents him. We know he can run the ball deep into the line, play off the back, but he's also got that big frame on him, and he can use that to his advantage. We're not seeing it enough. He did tackle at 63% efficiency too. That's nowhere near good enough for a 5'8", particularly one that wants to get back into first grade. So my concerns around Josh Schuster are continuing. Next up, we go with Javier Pitavajo. Now, he comes through South Sydney in recent weeks from the Sunshine Coast Falcons. He played there last year. 80 minutes, 8 runs, 70 metres, a try, 2 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 23 tackles made at 88% efficiency. When you get 50 put on you, performances like these stand out way much more than if this was in a winning side, per se. Then we next go to Leonard Skelton. He's just come back from a mini stint with the North Sydney Bears. He's picked up a try, 11 runs for 108 metres, 2 tackle breaks and 3 offloads. So some good signs there for Leonard Skelton. Shifting gears to Parramatta and Jordan Samrani once again. I mentioned him on the Tip Sheet podcast this week with the Cumberland Fro guys. He picked up a hat-trick, 16 runs, 194 metres, which was a game high, 3 tackle breaks and offload. He'll be back in the NRL sooner rather than later with this run of form. Then we go to Josh Papali'i. He had just under 100 metres, a line break, 4 line break assists. He also had a try assist, throw in 6 tackle breaks as well. I just want to mention back on Samrani for a moment. I say sooner rather than later because in a couple of weeks, the rules around players external to the top 30 get relaxed a little bit, so he will be eligible for selection again should Parramatta want to play him. Then we finish up with the Cardi Party himself, Bryce Cartwright. He was a bit quiet with the ball, only to 47 metres, but 75 minutes. He had a line break assist, 2 try assists, tackled at 96% efficiency. Now, that's the big thing with these NRL players. You want them to be tackling from 90% upwards. You don't want them to be going anywhere below. I think I might change, actually. You don't want them to go from 85% down, because that incurs like 3 or more misses, for example, and you want them to hang on to contact. So for Bryce to knock up 96% is one fair effort. Well, next up, we're going over to Lidcombe Oval for the clash between Western Suburbs and Newtown. The Magpies desperate for a win, while Newtown continue their rich vein of form while welcoming back fullback Kay Dykes.
Something here and go back that way to Dykes, who fell under one. Tries to get it down and does get it down. Beryl jumps out short side. Puru back inside. This is a chance now for the Jets. It's more than a chance. They're off down the left. Hold them out here. Beryl for Puru. Then for Rajab. Then for Gabriel. And Clark is favourite from here. Ackland gets on with it. Beryl's fans across. Puru back inside. Hamlin Ueli with a rumble. Hamlin Ueli goes close. Hamlin Ueli gets it down.
Up another victory in this one, but it did come at a cost in the Dower struggle. Kay Dykes leaving the game inside the opening 15 minutes with what appears to be a serious knee injury that was not good to see live at the ground, and we do wish Cade all the very best. However, we've got a stats deep dive to focus on next, and what was a pretty dour performance from Western Suburbs. Josh Felaherty was easily the most dangerous Magpie out there. 13 runs, 119 metres, 6 tackle breaks, and a line break down the left edge. He shifted out to the right edge with little output midway through the second half. As I mentioned with Michael Gabriel for Newtown in a moment, they were getting absolutely torched on that side of the ground. So they shifted Felaherty from left to right, and it did tidy things up a little bit. Next up, we got Tony Sooker. 80 minutes despite battling some niggling injuries. He was battling hard out there. 17 runs, 142 metres, 62 post-contact metres, an offload, 25 tackles and 86% efficiency. It's what you want from a player that's had NRL sprinklings this season. Finishing up, we've got the Lebanese international Eli El Zakim. He had an 80-minute effort on the edge, 20 runs, 171 metres, 4 tackle breaks, an offload, 23 tackles, just 2 misses, exactly what you want from a player with that level of experience. Of course, he's come to the Magpies via the English Super League, where he played with Castleford last season. Finishing up next with Newtown, we've got Jaden Burleigh. Picked his moments, went to run from 9, had a game high 56 tackles in the middle third, forced to drop out with a nice little grubber kick, easily up there with the best hookers not playing regular NRL. Surprise, surprise, the other one, his former Newtown mate, Sam Healey. Next up, we got Michael Gabriel. As I mentioned, 14 runs, 180 metres, a line break assist, a try assist, 6 tackle breaks as he made an absolute mess of that makeshift Western Suburbs right edge. He was absolutely everywhere in this contest, Michael Gabriel, and fair credit to him. Finishing up with, we got Braden Hamlin-Wele. He had 51 minutes, a crash ball try to seal the win, 103 metres, 2 line breaks, 4 tackle breaks, and offload. Have a day, Mr. Hamlin-Wele, in what was a pretty dour game of football. Real end-to-end struggle. A couple of controversial decisions in and amongst it as well. But it was a good performance, nonetheless, from Hamlin-Wele and the Jets, who continue their hot start to 2025. Well, next up, we'll take you out to the Belmore Sports Ground, where Canterbury are looking to continue their high-flying attack against one of the high-flying teams in the New South Wales Cup in the Penrith Panthers. Let's go to Belmore and have a look at the highlights.
Open side left, through their hands. Now they've got numbers out here, wide to the left-hand side. In the corner, that's a try to Canterbury. He's out from the line. Plays it now. Hutchison, short ball, they've got numbers. Morin flicks it out the back. Play on the call, still alive. O'Neill, good hands, great hands. Found his second rower in Smith. And we'll play it now, just short of halfway. Inside ball's a lovely one. Finds Hotboy into open space. Support left and right. Raffle tickets at the ready. Curtis Morin, you're a winner. Out of dummy half, that's Scott taking it forward. Billy Scott finds a man on the outside in the form of Fedua to the 20. Can he beat the cover? He can beat the cover. And finally, Penrith fans say, finally, at the southern end of the ground. Left-hand side, Penrith have numbers. They had to score with that overlap. Out in front of the left-hand upright. Now they put it through the hands. O'Neill, Hutchison, great ball out the back. Keep it alive. Blake Wilson for the corner. Got there. 21 metres out. Arm up, last tackle. Back it comes. Kick from O'Neill. No, they put it through the hands, down the short side, inside, outside. Do-see-do, try-time. Scott into dummy half. Show and go out the back. They've got numbers here. They keep it alive. Asakapoa towards the corner. Has to step back in. Beats one, beats two. Can he beat the third? No, the Hail Mary ball inside is a try ball. Is out from the line. They come right-hand side. Morin out the back for O'Neill. Flat ball is a lovely one for Sua.
Opening half from the Bulldogs there, doing enough. They started with an 18-0 lead. Penrith came back into it, but that late Blake Wilson try on halftime was enough to just give Canterbury a bit of an edge. They got one after halftime. Despite the simmeting of Blake Wilson, they played some champagne rugby league to walk away 16-point winners. Let's go to the stats deep dive. I'm going to kick off with Joe O'Neill. He had 2 line break assists, 2 try assists, and offload. Defended well, making 16 tackles. Did have a couple of misses, but shared the kicking game well with Drew Hutchison and showed some really good game management, which is what you want your young halves to do in this competition. Next up, we got Curtis Morin. He had 90 metres, combining hit-ups and ball playing, and that's all those things those link forwards need to do. He had 2 line break assists, 2 offloads, a game-high 40 tackles. He'll be pushing for an NRL recall, given the carnage up in Brisbane on Thursday night. No Sitili Tupanua, and no Josh Curran, so you'd assume Morin will be next man up for sure. Next up, we got Lipoi Hopoi. He had 57 minutes in this one, 12 runs, 147 metres, 2 line breaks, a try assist, 100% tackle efficiency. He's been so consistent in the New South Wales Cup and put himself in the shop window for an NRL recall. Next up, we go over to the Panthers and Asu Kapa'awa. He had 20 runs, 168 metres, a line break, LBA, and try assist. Yes, no tries this week, but he still is very safe at the top of the try scorers list with 11 tries this season. He's a good carrier out of yardage, and if we were an NRL club and you're desperate for back depth, offer anything to bring him across because he's not going to get any game time at Penrith at the moment, you feel. Next up, we got Matt Eisenhuth. He had 62 minutes, 13 runs, 147 metres, an offload, 38 tackles at 95% efficiency. It's such a breath of experience in this cup side where it's lacking a little this season with all the losses from last year. No Tyrone Peachy, no Jordan Grant, so those real experienced heads aren't there this year. And Eisenhuth's had to play a really big role when he's not playing in first grade. Then we go over to Jack Coley, still in Cup as Ivan Cleary persists with a Talangi-Cleary halves combination. He had 3 line break assists, 2 try assists, 18 tackles, just a 1 miss. He'll get his redemption back in first grade soon, I feel it. Jack Cole's a really tough player. He'll get his moments to shine very, very shortly. Well, next up, we're taking you out to GIO Stadium to conclude round 8 of the New South Wales Cup, where the Canberra Raiders host the North Sydney Bears. Let's look at all the highlights from GIO Stadium.
Shortage of hookers out at North Sydney as the ball comes left all the way to the winger. Steps on the inside, try scoring opportunity here. And the North Sydney Bears are celebrating. So right is the call. Here's Martin. Tossing and turning, and I think he's found the line. Referee looks around. Ball comes left for Cook. Cook for Martin. As Danny Levi snipes left. And Danny Levi scores for the Raiders. So they're inside the 10 here, Canberra. Adam Cook kicking early here, looking for solo. Ball bounces back. Opportunity out here left. So it's a 1v1. And it's won by none other than Jed Stewart taken down there. So on the last, Adam Cook kicks this one back in towards the rock. Chevy Stewart's there chasing. He's taken it. And as he got it down, here they come through Toby. Jake Toby. He sliced through him and he's diced them right up. Little grubber through and Marshke will score. The ball within a metre of the North Sydney line. Danny Levi. Has he got his second? He's burrowing again. The referee replaced the almost irreplaceable Alan Fitzgibbon as it certainly wasn't a pretty tackle. Looking left for Marshke. Marshke's got Lazzardi. He goes out to his fullback. It's played at, so we'll have 6 again. Here's Marshke on to Tulty. This one, they've got a strike here. Marshke for Lazzardi, who can't hold on to it. The ball's fumbling around. Komalafe's gap. And he nearly got there. So a layup for Trey Mooney for the gap.
Convincing opening half, going out to a 24-4 lead. North Sydney looked likely to run them down at some stage, but the Raiders just doing enough in those critical moments to walk away with the 10-point win. Let's take a look at some of the key performers in our stats deep dive. We're kicking off with the hooker, Danny Levi. He had 63 minutes, a double, 2 line breaks, a line break assist, a try assist, 4 tackle breaks, and 2 offloads. It feels like he's the odd man out in the hooker department at the moment. Of course, Jaden Brayley's arriving next year. Tom Starling's apparently in negotiations. Owen Paddy's the next man up. Levi is still fighting for a club. It will not surprise you if he has to end up going back to the English Super League for consistent game time. Next up, we got Simi Sasangi. He had a line break assist, 5 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, defended well on his edge throughout the contest. 96% tackle efficiency. That is absolutely insane from Sasangi. Then we go to Trey Mooney. He had 71 minutes, 15 runs, 137 metres, a try, 6 tackle breaks, an offload, 28 tackles, 2 misses, and over 88% efficiency. Where he fits at NRL level 2 is pretty much a mystery at this point, and it's going to be a very interesting situation there. Well, next up, we're going over to the North Sydney Bears. We're going to go on to Ben Tolte. He had a line break, a try, 12 runs, 105 metres, 3 tackle breaks, an offload, 25 tackles, just the 2 missed. Once again, Mr. Consistent is Ben Tolte. Then we go to Atavalu Lasati, 11 runs for 95 metres, 6 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 21 tackles, 4 misses, 1 ineffective. It isn't the best, but still pretty good. He also is good to see him back after staying a year injured. Next up, we've got a bit of a wild card for one of our good listeners, Sally. I know she loves watching their Melbourne Juniors go round. Jack Golding. He's one from the Flegg program. They have some high raps on. 100% tackle efficiency, 5 runs for 56 metres. He only got through about 17 minutes, but he's looking for an upward tick in his minutes in just his second game of open age footy. Well, it's time to see which of the players got in this week's New South Wales Cup Team of the Week and who our Player of the Week is in our little graphics. So let's take a look at who made it. And at fullback, Josh Papali from the Parramatta Eels. Nathan Lawson from the St George Illawarra Dragons on one wing. Asuka Powell from the Penrith Panthers keeps his spot from last week on the other wing. Michael Gabriel from Newtown in the centres, along with Jordan Samrani from Parramatta. He's been very electric the last couple of weeks. Tomato Martin from the Wires in the halves, along with Lincoln King Toiga from the Dragons. The forwards, Lipo Hopoi keeps his spot from last week. Trey Mooney, the other prop. Sam Healey, our hooker there. And also our player of the week. We'll deep dive him in just a moment. The forward, Simi Sasangi from Canberra. Bryce Cartwright in there as well from Parramatta. And then Curtis Moran locking the scrum from the Bulldogs. The bench, Braden Hamwood-Welle from Newtown. Danny Levi from Canberra. Paul Bryan from Newcastle. And Eliza Kem from Western Suburbs. But it's time to deep dive our player of the week, Sam Healey. And Sam Healey, wow. What can we say about his performance? He deserved that try at the end of the game. We were hoping and praying he got over the line there. If he was at 10 or more NRL clubs, he would be a mainstay of their 17. He'd even be a starting hooker, to be honest with you. He's a player that will get game time eventually, and when he gets in, good luck keeping him out. And we all know Wade Egan, he's a very good hooker, but he can have a concussion or two. So if that happens, I would play Sam Healey at 9 ahead of Freddie Lussick. It's quite telling in New South Wales Cup that they're playing Lussick through the middle and keeping Healey at 9. And I think that shows that that's the best dynamic for the Warriors at the moment. And Healey is just so quick out of 9. He had 3 line breaks in this one, 8 tackle breaks. I know a couple Cronulla fans. I know Dan's one. I know Haley's another one who are very good friends of our show. Absolutely begging the Sharks to keep Sam Healey. But unfortunately, he's jumped ship to go over to the Warriors, and he's producing a cracking season at the moment. Well, now we're shifting gears, heading up north to Queensland, where round 7 up there kicked off on Anzac Day. The North Devils take on the Western Clydesdales as the defending premiers take on one of the season's much improved lineups.
Number 4 is the kicker, mate. He's on side. Joseph, hold! Hold! Turn 1. It's turn 1. Good, Matt. Break! Good, Matt. Good. Hold! Okay, fine's good. 14 metres. Good! Play that, keep going. Keep going. Coming. Backward, keep going. Yardage. We're beyond. Good, Matt. He goes to him. Play on. Keep going till 3. Yes. He breaks through and keeps going, Matt. Turn 1. Good, Matt. Get square. Locked in. Hold. Go 2. Yes. Push the line. Hold. Go 3.
Half set, the North Devils up for victory with a 22-point verdict over the Western Clydesdales, who had been improving up until this point. They still did show some improvement. Last year, this game would have gone away from them. They would have probably had 40 or even 50 put on them. So some good improvement there from Jason Oucham. Let's take a look at the stats deep dive. Starting off with Oren Keeley. He had 80 minutes in this one. 9 runs for 108 metres. A great flick pass for a try in the first half. Had a couple offloads as well. 35 tackles, just 2 misses. The question is, where does he fit in the NRL side? I still have no bloody idea where Oren Keeley fits at the moment. It's really, really hard for him, I could imagine. Next up, we got James Flack, 49 minutes, a double through some strong running, 9 runs, 81 metres, 6 tackle breaks, 20 tackles, just a 1 ineffective all day. Exactly what you want from your lead front rower. Then you go with Manasi Kaho. He had 13 runs, 165 metres, a line break assist, try assist, 6 tackle breaks. He's such a strong outside back, will be a key asset for Rohan Smith's side if they want to go back-to-back like they did in 21 and 22. Then we go over to the Clydesdales. We kick off with the former North Queensland Cowboy, Emre Pere. His strong performance of 2025 thus far. How about that kick he put in for Luke Rowland at the end of the game? 13 runs, 115 metres, 46 post contact metres, 20 made tackles. He did miss Frevo in the middle. Next up we go with Corey Fenning. He had 9 runs, 92 metres, 7 tackle breaks. He was not going to be stopped on his way to the line. That was one heck of an individual try with that upper body strength. He was been in the Roosters system, then he went into Parramatta. Now he's found a home at the Clydesdales over the last couple of seasons. And then we go with Stanford Talita. 2 line breaks, an error-free performance, 5 tackle breaks, 11 runs, 144 metres. The former Papua New Guinea Nines representative has been showing some great signs for his new club so far this season. Stanford Talita standing up for the Western Clydesdales in this one, as they'll be looking for revenge next weekend. Well, next up, we'll take you out to Totally Workwear Stadium, where the Brisbane Tigers are looking for some revenge when they take on the Townsville Blackhawks, who have had a surprise start under coach Terry Campese in 2025.
Still going. Together! Stand together! Square! Retreated. One team. Go 4. Good line there. Good! Yep. Down. I've got ground, mate. Power to ground, too. Hold! Hold! Hold here. Hold. Go. Good line. Play that. Yep. Happy? All good, mate. Yep. Watch your players. Last one! James. 4 in a row. Strip. 4 infringements in a row. Go. Retreat 7. Good. Yeah. Down. Happy, mate. Hold the line here! Go 3. Defensive. Grounding fine. I've got his knee up in the 1 short. Hands off. Line, 1 foot. Give space. Go. 2. Good line. Good. Hold the line here. Hold. Go 1. That 8's well early. Yeah. Keep going. We'll work that one. Go. Left side's good. All good, mate. Okay. That language is totally unacceptable. I'm not going to repeat it, mate. I might start. It's time off. All time off. Go. Yep. Thank you. Walk away.
Blackhawks, 22 unanswered points. They did have to hang on late in that one, I should say. It was a bit of chaos towards the end of that one, but a 4-point win for the Townsville Blackhawks, and they are proving to be the surprise team of the 2025 Hostplus Cup so far, putting in a number of strong performances against highly fancied teams. But before we look on to some of their players, let's go to the stats deep dive. We're going to kick off with Levi. Now, 11 runs, 87 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 22 tackles, had a couple missed in there. We do have a soft spot for Levi. We love seeing those that have reached the heights of first grade give back to the game in this way, and Levi is doing that in leaps and bounds at the moment. So good to see. Next up, we got Kobe Williamson, the young outside back in the Melbourne Storm pathway. Has a bright future about him, and he proved it in this game. He had 12 runs, 107 metres, a try, a line break, a couple of tackle breaks as well. Exactly what you want to see there from young Kobe Williamson. Played a couple of trials and been in the extended squad a couple of times as well. Then we go over to Sam Wallace. He had 55 minutes in the middle, 13 runs, 104 metres, 3 tackle breaks and offload, 31 tackles, 3 missed. If you talk about consistency, just Google Sam Wallace's name. He's done this week on week for the Brisbane Tigers. Then we go over to the Townsville Blackhawks. Dudley Dutoy now. He has a try, 11 runs, 123 metres, 3 tackle breaks. 3 line breaks, 6 tackle breaks, I beg my pardon. Always a joy to watch in open spaces, Dudley Dutoy. We sure do love seeing him in full flight. Then we go over to Jack Campagnolo. His kicking game is so good. A couple of try assisted, line break assist, really good defensively. And I said this at the beginning, and I'll say it again. If you asked me at the beginning of the year if the Townsville Blackhawks would be undefeated through their matches so far, I would have laughed straight in your face. No joking. I would have laughed because they don't have the NRL feeder ability that other teams do. And it's really surprising to see them play so well in a good way, but they've got the experience up there, the dad's army of a couple of players, and they're doing a really sound job of it at the moment. And then finally, we got Caden Lars. And Caden, you got 39 minutes in this one. The former New South Wales under-19 State of Origin prop from last year. He's also in the Cowboys pathway. 10 runs, 103 metres, 3 tackle breaks and offload. Did get sin-binned as well for a bit of dissent, but all young players can have a bit of a go. Well, next up, we're taking you out to Santos National Oil Stadium, where the Papua New Guinea Hunters host the Burleigh Bears, as Broncos prop Fletcher Baker plays his first game for the year.
Here with a chance to try and rack it out of their red zone. Here's a bit of footwork there from Brendan Nimmer. Gets it out now to Voro. He's in the clear. Has he got the legs over the 40? The 30 is going to go all the way. The celebration has started here for Gairo Voro as he goes over. What a start here for PNG. Yeah, that's a very back into the opposition's half. Here's danger. Gairo Voro gets through, kicks again, and then tries to back himself up. No, it can't. There was some interference there.
Because Loughlin's... That's right, so we're ruling it out, mate. But what Guy does is a professional foul.
Yeah, very close to the line. Mavoka again directing traffic. They're working through the hands. Here's Solomona. He puts it down. It back to the middle of the park. Roach from dummy half. Hamilton sends it away. This time, yes, they're able to find the line. A very easy put down there by the Bears. Now deep inside the Bears half. Waro again. No. Great pass. And Robert Marias comes back to Mavoko. Goes to the air. Who wants it? But yes, Troy Leo stood his gun. Oh, he's a loose ball. And Matthias goes in for his second. And there was Jordan Pat. Now they go shots. A little grubber trying something different here. And they will get a try. Now, short ball. Beautiful play here. And the Bears on the board.
Has been Burleigh's fade-outs, but it was their second half that proved strongest in this round 7 match against the Papua New Guinea Hunters. But unfortunately, the Hunters proving too strong, running away 8-point winners in Port Moresby. Let's take a look at the stats deep dive. We're kicking off with Alex Max. Look at these numbers right here. 15 runs, 258 metres, a line break assist and a try assist, 6 tackle breaks. He had some really good defensive numbers, and it was easily his best game in the Queensland Cup. Next up, we got Robert Matthias. He had a double. He also got sin-binned in this game, but outside of that, 10 runs, 93 metres, a line break, 4 tackle breaks, was easily his best defensive numbers of the season, having 32 tackles. There was just 2 ineffective there, but otherwise a very sound performance from Robert Matthias. Next up, and finally for the Hunters, we're going to go with Garno Voro. It was a coming-of-age game for Voro. Now, we mentioned last week he needed to do just a little bit more in the absence of Jamie Mavoko. He did that and then some. That first individual try, something special. 144 metres, 21 tackles, just 2 misses after last week's suspect defensive performance. Really a game he needed to get back on track. Now over to Burleigh. I'm going to kick off with Fletcher Baker, and it's his first game of the season. And as people know, I have been a bit critical of Fletcher Baker in the past here on the league scene. But he's bucking the trend of going slow off an injury. 12 runs, 112 metres, 3 offloads, a couple of tackle breaks, and 100% tackle efficiency. Talk about a welcome back. Very good signs there from Fletcher Baker. Then we go Josiah Karapati. He had 17 runs, 191 metres, 62 post-contact metres, a line break, 6 tackle breaks. He'll do a good job for Burleigh this season on the sting. If he gets called up to first grade, it'll be a good boost for the Broncos if required, but at the moment, he's doing quite the service for the Burleigh Bears in this season. And then we got a Lockie West at the back. He was the Hastings Deering Colts player a couple years ago, went up to the Northern Pride. Things didn't go quite to plan there. He's come back down to Burleigh. He picked up a double, over 110 metres, 2 line breaks, a line break assist, 3 tackle breaks, and a couple of offloads in a very sound display. Well, next up, we're taking you out to Queensland Country Bank Stadium, where the Mackay Catters host the Tweed Seagulls as the curtain raiser for the Cowboys, Titans, and NRL clash.
The first receiver, and on now they go, Tweed, and this time again, highly involved early with Steinweed. Now it's the last. Cook with some footwork. Romano Cook does it all himself. In fact, it's Paul Turner, captain. And now inside the 10 they go. That was Rivet. Across field, Burns through the hands. Oh, brilliant play. And guess who? In from him. So last play, here come the Seagulls. Through the hands, Harrison with the ball. Overlap here in the corner, Stevenson. Approaching the final 10 minutes of the first half. And the Titans early kick through in pursuit. Here is Jay Kirk. Will he get the bounce? Oh, you bet you he will. Jay Kirk claiming the try. Raiden Burns didn't know much about that one. This out. So Gill. Burns slices through. Mulaney to Zane Harrison. Turner. Short ball. Lil no look at Tweed. Phoenix Steinweed powers his way over. Too big.
Tweed.
So now here's Bailey Gill. Kicking it into the sun there in that far corner. Good contest by Valame. And Lyndon McGrady beats one, and he's through over the 10, over the 20, over the 30. Picks out support. Kirk is away into open pastures. Jay Kirk, there's no stopping him. As Riddell. And now Rivet. Short to O'Donnell. O'Donnell crashes over. Kai O'Donnell has got the try. Kai, a home game in front of the Cowboys faithful. And lining up their break, Guyan. Oh, so close. Mackay, he gets this. The Cutters now only 15 away. Guyan through Rivet. And now the danger man, Raiden Burns. And Burns is through again.
Eagles were leading 22-10, but the Mackay Cutters came home the strongest, securing back-to-back wins for the first time this season with a 4-point verdict over the Seagulls, and you just feel that David Penner's men will be thinking that's one that got away. Let's take a look at some of the key performers in our stats deep dive. We're going to kick off with the back rower from League, Kai O'Donnell, who's come back to the NRL this year. It's been a bit of an unhappy journey for him so far, but this one was one of his more improved performances. A try, 16 runs, 136 metres, a line break, 4 tackle breaks, and an offload, 22 tackles with just the one miss, and that was the 2 misses rather, but a very good performance nonetheless from Kai O'Donnell. Next up we go to Tom McHaley, a try, 15 runs, 166 metres, 75 post-contact metres, 4 tackle breaks, an offload, 15 tackles, just one ineffective. It was a very good display from McHaley, who always did a job I feel last year, but the minutes, they just weren't there for him last year at the NRL level. He's had to work his way into Mackay this year, get those minutes up, and he has been performing really consistently. We've had him in and around the deep dive a couple of times now, and he's been very, very strong each and every time. Next up, we're going to go over to Raiden Burns, a double including a match winner. We say this so often with Raiden Burns. Several game-winning efforts this year alone. He had the match winner against an Auburn Pride, had some big moments in their win last week over Papua New Guinea as well. He also had 146 metres, 2 line breaks and 5 tackle breaks. A very efficient job. Next up, we go with Khaleesi Haas. He was sent down to the Queensland Cup, and it's easy to say he was easily outplayed by back row partner Phoenix Steinweed. 59 minutes, you run the ball 9 times. You run the ball 9 times for 88 metres, 3 tackle breaks, 18 tackles at 90% efficiency, and somehow Des Hasler thinks he's straight back into first grade after dropping David Fafita. It's a bit of a bold strategy, Connor, but we'll see how it pays off for the Titans this weekend. Next up, we go to Kieran Heyman. 12 runs, 170 metres, a line break, 3 tackle breaks, 2 line break assists, a try assist, 2 offloads, great defensive numbers. He's getting better week on week, Kieran Heyman. And, you know, he had a lot of grand final heartbreak with Norths over the last couple of seasons, but he's really solidified his position up there in Tweed. And then next up, we go with Phoenix Steinweed. 52 minutes, a try, 17 runs, 176 metres, 100% tackle efficiency, a line break, and 5 tackle breaks. The former Rooster doing some good things up with the Tweed side this season. Well, next up, we're taking you to the Chook Pen, BMD Kurai Oval, for the clash between the Wynnum Manly Seagulls and the Ipswich Jets. Let's take a look at all the action between the two sides.
Ready, Bob! Play with him! Go free. He's good. Back forward! Wide! Hold! Go two. I'm fine with that. That's his lazy. I'm happy. Hold! Wide! Wide! Go two. Still two. Hit. Get it. I think. Play on. Finalist, George! Wait, wait! Wait! Okay. Go, Jamie, you ready to play? Jamie. Kick, good. Play on. Yep. Stick around me. All good?
Their season revival is continuing with a 16-point win over the Wynnum Manly Seagulls at BMD Cougarai Oval. They had their chances, the Seagulls, in this game, but execution let them down in one big way. Let's take a look at some of their key performers on the stats deep dive. Ben Farr, the former Warrior, kicks us off. 177 metres, a try, 3 line breaks, 10 tackle breaks, defended and created very well in a hard-fought game. Next up, the former Dragon, Josh Corrick, who was on a training trial with the Broncos this summer. He had 51 minutes, 9 runs, 100 metres, an offload, 36 tackles. He just had the one miss, but it was a very good game from Corrick. He's had a really good year, to be honest, too. He started a little bit slow, but he's come back nicely the last couple of weeks and put together some champagne rugby league. Next up, we got Jordan Graham, 68 minutes, the former Panther. 12 runs, 114 metres, 45 tackles for a prop. Only one ineffective too. Not bad. Not bad for the former St Dominic's College product. He's been a handy addition, as I mentioned, coming across from Penrith, and he's played some really good football of late with Wynnum. Next up, we go to the Ipswich Jets and Kenny Mamalo. Despite not being a Titan as of this week, Mamalo is continuing to ply his trade with Ipswich, just like he did with Burleigh a couple of seasons ago. He had a try, 23 runs, 232 metres, a game high, 69 post-contact metres. He had 2 offloads as well, so a fair effort there. Next up, we go to Josiah Pahulu. Now, he made headlines last year, all because of a contract bonus. But putting aside that and a slow start to the year following some concussion concerns, Pahulu's bounced back in a big way and he returns to the NRL side this weekend. How did he do? Well, let's find out. 15 runs, 141 metres, 51 post-contact metres, a tackle break. He had 24 tackles, just the 2 misses as he finds his way onto the bench. And who knows, we might be talking about David Fafita here this week. The scenes, if we do, will be insane. Then we go to Dylan Tauper. Tauper's been out with injury. I think it was a shoulder injury from memory, but he's been back to guide Ipswich to the winners column. Nothing spectacular in the attacking phase, but managed the game well. Kicked for over 600 metres, forced to drop out, some good goal kicking. Also had 23 tackles with 1 miss. Well, next up, we're heading out to KO Stadium, I should say, for the clash between Redcliffe and the Sunshine Coast, as Nelson Asafa Solomona continues his return from concussion.
Last one, release, wait! Make it! Wait! Go. Go 10-11! Keep going. Grounding. Coming into 6, mate. Oh, Marcus square! Wait! Go 3. Thanks, mate. On 3. Keep going. Keep going. Shoulder. Yeah. Coming into 4, mate. Wait! Go 4. No, call 4, Max. To the line, that's okay. Keep going. On 4. Grounding. Happy sideline? Yeah, coming into 5, mate. We're good. Yeah, mate. Go 10! On 10. Go on 10. Help! Release! Go 4. Line's good. Through. Outside. They're on. Happy on. Okay. Down. Grounding. Yeah, he goes. Happy sideline. Clean your short. Clean your short. On 4. Tackle 4. Yep. Grounding. Yeah. Running in the last, mate. 10. Make it. Here. Go 4. 18 again. 16. On 4. Pass. Play on. Grounding. Yes. Coming in the last. No. What's the offload? Oh! Nelson! Hey! Lock in! Oh, don't play on him! Nelson facial. Nelson. Just watch it. Yes. Don't play on him! Go 2. 7's good. Tom, come 10. Keep going. Keep going. Slightly behind it. Passes it. Still in. Play on. Yep. Try. I've got grounding. Wait! Yeah, line's good. Back, lead, down, right. Coming in the forward. Good! To the ball! Catch. Right, ball's on the line. Coming into 6. Ball's on the line.
Leading at half-time, they were just not quite in the contest here. And a late Sheldon Pittermar try made things interesting at 22 points to 20. But then that late Fallon Peters try was just enough to get them home with the Chocolates, the Sunshine Coast Falcons, by 8 points in that one at KO Stadium. Let's take a look at the stats deep dive. We're going to kick off with a former NRL player, former Rooster too, Max Bailey. 66 minutes off the bench, 14 runs, 107 metres, a line break assist, a try assist, an offload as well. He had 28 tackles, 3 misses in this one, but Max Bailey is a really good player. He's going to be a leader in this side this season, and he's got the experience having played at a lot of second-tier clubs. Next up, I got the half from Canberra, Josh James. He had a try assist, 6 tackle breaks, defended well, 22 tackles, just a couple missed, handled most of the short kicking, forced a drop out as well. Very good signs from Josh James. He's just a week in, week out development rather has been a key focus this season. And then next up, we've got Sheldon Pittermar once again. This time we've got a photo for him this week, I remembered. Thanks to the guys that messaged me and said, make sure you get a photo for everyone this week. I will do it. Then, however, though, he had 66 minutes of game time, a try, 13 runs, 103 metres, 3 tackle breaks, 28 tackles, had a couple of misses though, but that's okay. He had a really sound game besides that one. Then we're going to kick off with the Sunshine Coast Falcons, and there is no bigger man to talk about than Big Nas, Nelson Asafa Solomona. He came back to QLD Cup after a concussion protocol, extended period in that concussion protocol. He had 46 minutes, 13 runs, 107 metres, 60 post-contact metres, 2 tackle breaks. He defended well, but was penalised in possession. We deliberately clipped that one in there because we tried to show the good and the bad in the lower grade wrap. And big shout out to Sally, who was watching this game and was not very happy about the referee, Taylor Worth, calling out Big Nas there a couple of times. Then we go over to Fallon Peters. He had 2 tries, 9 runs, 57 metres, 5 tackle breaks. Defended well on his edge, 22 tackles, just the 2 misses. He's been a consistent player for them this season, Fallon Peters, and he did that just the same in this one. Finishing off with Cody Hunter. He had a line break assist, a try assist. His ball playing has been a feature of the Falcons' attack this season. Good defensively and dominant kicking, forcing the Finns back out of yardage. Well, next up, we're taking you out to Davies Park in Brisbane for the clash between the South Logan Magpies and the Central Queensland Capras. The Magpies have been a bit disappointing this season, but Carmichael Hunt's side was keen to get back on track.
Right! He's moved up, he's interfered. 6 more, 10 metres! Grounded. 4. Yep. Yeah. Take your time. Hold, Ben. Hold. Go through, thank you. Yeah, much better. 2. Play on. Move, play! Here! Beyond. All the way to me! Go 3. 3 beyond. Yeah, good now, Ben. Outside. Play on, on 10. 3. Tackle 3. I'm in line. Billy, behind it. Go into 4. Ground route. Beyond. Tackle 3. 3. Behind it. Ben! Go! Leave it, Anthony. Time off. Good, Aaron. Thanks, mate. Good! Catch. Down. Hold! Go! Slow! Outside, no tackle. Outside, play on. Up. Down. Good, mate. Hold. Kobe. Go 3. Good on. Catch. Down. Good. Wait. Hold dry. Go 1. Outside. In. He grounds the ball. I'm happy with the ball being grounded first. Yeah. 3. Outside. I got touch from South, mate. 6 more! And down. No, touch and flight. Go. All good. All defensive. Good, mate.
With a 20-point verdict over the Central Queensland Capras, and it's been a fair effort from the South Logan Magpies just to get some confidence back in the joint after what's been a pretty slow start to the year. They really capitalised on the Simbin period to Ben Condon, scoring 2 tries in that period, and tops to Israel Leota picking up a hat-trick. He's going to feature very prominently in a moment in our stats deep dive. And there he is, a hat-trick. 5 line breaks, yes, 5 line breaks in this one. 11 runs, 191 metres, 7 tackle breaks. The funny part is he still had his fair share of errors. But the good far outweighed the negatives. Normally, sometimes, I think, you look back to that under-19s origin, the negatives far outweighed the positives he had. This time was the other way around. The positives far outweighed the negatives. So, very good signs there from Israel. Next up, we've got Ben Takura, 42 minutes, 11 runs, 92 metres, 22 tackles at 92% efficiency, 5 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. A very fair day out for Mr. Takura. And then we've got Tay McDonald. He picked up a try, 10 runs for 84 metres, 2 tackle breaks and offload, 30 tackles. He didn't miss any, but he had 5 ineffective though, so that contact just needs to be a little bit better. Wrap that ball up a little bit more, and then that'll bring those ineffective tackles down. Next up, we have Nixon Put for the Central Queensland Capras. He had a try, 17 runs, 166 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 6 offloads. Yes, you read that right. 6 offloads. Such an explosive player on his day. He is a very similar to a Talakai though. Like, he's explosive at centre, but will the magic juju run out? I'm not too sure. Time will tell. Next up, we got Ben Condon. 70 minutes, as I mentioned off the top. He was Simbin. 3 offloads, defended well on his edge. He is a really good experienced pickup for the Capras. They lost Francis Moller, who went to North Devils as part of the affiliation switcheroo, because they lost Mason Teague to Newcastle. But when the Finns are hit hard by injury, they're going to lean on Condon. They're going to lean on Nixon Put a little bit more. Now, we're going to lean on someone who needs to be a little bit more involved in our view, and that's Tane Kiriona. He only had 5 runs in his stint. As mentioned last week, that needs to lift. However, 2 tackle breaks and offload, there's signs of promise there from Tane. He had 30 tackles, just the 2 misses. So again, really good promising signs there. But now let's move ahead to this week's Team of the Week. And again, new graphics as well. Raider Birch and Mackay is at fullback. Israel Leota and Dudley Dudley on the wings. Alex Max and Kieran Heyman in the centres. There's Max from PNG, Heyman from Tweed. At 5'8", Dion Tauper from the Ipswich Jets. At halfback, Jack Campagnolo. The forward pack, Josh Stuckey from Townsville's earned another recall along with James Flack. Tyson Smoothy is the hooker. Kai Rodwell from Mackay and Phoenix Steinwed are the back rowers from Tweed. Oren Keeley from Norths is our lock. The bench of Ben Farr from Wynnum, Tom McKaylee from Mackay, Nixon Put from the Central Queensland Capras, and Fletcher Baker gets a recall there from the Burleigh Bears. And you're probably thinking, AJ, you don't like Fletcher Baker. Surely Reece picked this team. No, I picked this team this week, and yes, Fletcher Baker was good. We can acknowledge good and bad on this show sometimes, but Fletcher Baker, fair credit to you. First game back from injury, you go to Port Moresby for your first game. That's always a tough ask. You earned your spot on the bench. But who is our player of the week? Let's find out. Our player of the week this week was Alex Max from the Papua New Guinea Hunters. Look at this stat line again. We didn't give it enough credit in the Hunters recap. But just look at this. 15 runs, 258 metres, a line break assist, a try assist, 6 tackle breaks, had some great defensive numbers. Easily his best game in the Queensland Cup. Played in the Prime Minister's 13 last year and could easily push for international honours, pending a couple of things going his way. But I really do like him. I really like this young man. He's a very good football player, very strong upper body, and I think he'll be an asset for the Papua New Guinea Hunters this season. But congratulations to Alex Max, our Hostplus Cup Player of the Round for Round 7. And that brings us to an end to our program this week. It's been a pleasure bringing you all the action from Round 8 of the Knock-On Effect New South Wales Cup and Round 7 of the Hostplus Cup. Just a preface here on why our footage looked a little bit different for New South Wales this week. We've been in discussions with Bar TV and they've requested for us to use their footage, which is 100% viable. We will do that from this point going forward. No hassle on our end. It's the same footage, plus you get to hear their commentary team go to work. So that will be how our New South Wales highlights go forward for now. But until next week, I'm AJ Luke Antonio, and we'll catch you same time, same place, next time around.